stop and give us some shit. Equipment that isn't designed to handle this kind of rough road and all this rocks and stuff. This is not the worst trail we've been on, but it's in areas it's a little rough, but it's kind of fun. Some guys come through here really screaming, but they just tear their machinery up. I just as soon crawl up and not tear up my side-by-side. My sister's up there, she's just learning how to run one of these things, so she's taking her time. She's doing a good job. We aired her tires down to 12 pounds to kind of help her with this crawling around stuff, and pretty good. You can see over here to the side we're passing a big pile of tailings that came out of the mine up here that we're heading to. Anyway, we'll show some more of that in a minute. Right now I've got to put the camera down so I can hang on to the steering wheel. Here's one of the mine entrances. Can't really see how far back that one goes. We're continuing up this hill. You can see the tailings, which are the big piles of sand and rock all mixed together. You can tell it looks like something that's come out of the ground and been dumped off to the side. And whoever the miners were, that's what they did to get down to the particular thing they were looking for, whether it was silver or gold or copper. This mine hasn't been open for quite a while, so there's not really any problem with us coming up here and checking it out. I'm going to try to take a little bit of an easier route up here. Stop for us.
Wow.
You see that mountain over there? Straight away over there?
Yeah.
That is absolutely honeycombed with mines.
This one right, this in the foreground here?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
And it goes down hundreds and hundreds of feet. And I didn't point it out to you when we were coming by, but there's air holes along the top that they have, so the air flows up through there. But my kids and I, we hired a guy years ago, and he took us all through there as a guide, and real interesting.
Huh.
This is kind of a mini version of that.
I saw a lot of tailing piles all along back in there.
Yeah, those are air vents.
Some are, yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. And is this mine called Tyro?
Tyro.
Tyro mine, okay.
Tyro.
Yeah, I think we came here once before a few years ago.
Oh, did you?
I think so.
Well, you possibly could have.
I think we might have come with my dad, because this entrance looks real familiar.
It's always a challenge to get through there without bumping your head.
Yeah.
We were in here one time, and somebody spooked the bats. And boy, they were flying back and forth and back and forth.
Huh.
We had to get up tight against the wall for them to settle down. You kind of see, there's still remnants of where the railroad tracks were.
Oh yeah.
And this is where they use to run their electric lights.
Now this was all just chiseled out by hand, wasn't it?
Well, when you say by hand, They had pneumatic tools then.
So they'd drill a hole and break something loose, and then they'd haul it out.
Yeah, well, I'll show you up there.
Okay.
You can see where they drill in here.
Oh yeah, okay.
And they set their charges. Now I have no idea how they decide which direction to go or anything like that.
I suppose after doing this enough, you'd know where to do it to get the result you wanted.
Watch the head here, but this is where they stripped it back when. This was all closed in. You couldn't see the sky here, and it was all closed in here, and it was all closed in over here. And there was a tunnel right here that went clear to the other side.
Huh.
But they came in later on, this is in the 80s, and strip mined this, just blew everything to pieces. This is what they put it on the cars here, rolled it up to the end, and then where you came up, there was a big dump area where they dump it into the trucks and then take it to the crushing mill.
Now this must be, these lines must be quartz, huh?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Huh. See, because you see quartz in rock form laying on the ground and stuff, but you don't see it in the, striations or whatever the word is, in rock.
See, they just, for whatever reason, they decided to quit. But you can see the holes in the walls they use for their blasting sticks.
Yeah, so they'd probably blast a foot or two of debris and then haul it out and then drill and then blast another foot or two.
Uh-huh.
That's interesting how they do that. To me, it's remarkable the ingenuity of the human person, just doing stuff like that, and their power against nature, I guess, is kind of interesting to me, and just how they did it.
This is particularly unusual to have such a straight line here of this mine shaft, because I just don't know enough about gold to know how it runs, but it's pretty unusual to see a long, straight shaft like this.
Yeah. Huh. Well, that's the other thing. How did they know they were going straight?
Yeah, you're in a tunnel, right?
How do you know which direction you're going? I guess maybe they used compasses or something. I don't know. But yeah, the whole thing to me is just amazing.
Can you imagine breaking this timber in through just a hole in the wall there?
Huh. And here's some little hole, I guess that's mud from bees or something. Have made little nests right there.
Oh, that's a hornet's nest.
Wasp.
Mud daubers.
Thing.
Yeah, mud daubers.
Yeah, mud daubers. Yeah, that's what they call them. Wow, that's really something. And this structure's been here a long time.
They started mining this in the 30s. And they mined it until they went off the gold standard. And then when the price of gold started going up, they've opened it 2 or 3 times, closed it 2 or 3 times. And then when they did the strip mine, this was just a tunnel like that. And then they came in and just blew all this out of here and
Just started hauling it out.
hauling it out.
Huh. And then that's what that debris is what they ran through the crushers.
Yeah.
And then they put it off in the drying fields, like you were saying.
Yeah, well, they put it in a big vats and ran cyanide through it.
Now these numbers seem to be yards, 385, 384, 383. They seem to be like yard, and is that?
Those are areas, that, you know, they mark the whole mine that way, so you
Yeah.
know where you are.
Right, right. But I'm wondering, is that current, you think, in the 80s or 90s?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So that's current markings.
yeah.
And that way they knew where they were going, I guess. Huh. That's really something. Yeah, you can see where they drilled in. You can see where there was one drill right there and it blew all this down.
Yeah.
And then they moved up a yard or two and drilled to do more. And I don't know, but boy, look at the size of that quartz right there.
Yeah.
That's just one big chunk of quartz.
Interesting.
You break that out, I'll bet you there's some gold behind there.
Well, they apparently didn't think so.
I guess not, but they say that if you find quartz, that's where you find gold.
Yeah, that's what you can see is quartz all through here.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll walk around the barn.
Huh.
I should tell you a funny story with the right corner up here.
I really don't know how well this camera's gonna take pictures of all this, but boy, I'll bet you when it's 120 degrees here in Arizona, this is nice and cool in here.
Yeah, the temperature here doesn't vary much at all. We first started coming up here in the 60s, there were still lots of mining equipment in here. It had the train tracks and you know, the railroad ties, everything was in here.
So they must have drilled holes in the ceiling and then pounded this wood in there in order to attach the lighting and stuff.
Sure, yeah, just like that.
That's interesting how they would drill up.
Yeah.
Huh.
Of course, we're obviously not in an earthquake-prone area, which would never have survived. Now here's where we come in here, and we turn the lights off. If we bring somebody in, turn your light off. You can see how it is just pitch black. Now think about this. Janice and our grandson Tyler were way back in there, and her flashlight failed. So she had to walk along this wall in this dark that way to find her way out.
Huh.
That'd be spooky.
Tyler was not a happy camper.
I suppose, but, I can feel a lot of wind right now.
Yeah.
So there's some air coming through, quite a bit of air coming through here.
Well, I think I mentioned to you that they have air
Air
throughout
vents?
these areas. There's air where the air circulates. So we become very stagnant otherwise.
Yeah, I suppose, and the miners might end up with no oxygen or something, I suppose. They could. See, now this looks like part of the debris that had been blown out and then just never hauled out of here. Just not hauled out. See, that's what it looks like right there.
See, there's that big open area we were just in.
Oh, okay, well that's where the
opens.
air is going.
Yeah, it just opened up into that, right?
Oh, okay.
And this tunnel goes way back in there, long ways. And then this will give you a perspective of the size. And then this tunnel goes big way back in there, but look here, you can see it, but how they got it from one level to another, they just have these ore shafts,
They just drop it down, huh?
and they just drop it down into the, this is where they had the ore buckets, you know, the train, and they drop the ore through these shafts into the car, loading car, and haul it out of here.
Wow.
And they obviously did some level of crushing or something here. For obvious, you can see there was something on here, some type of machinery that was on here.
Huh.
But if you want to get a perspective of the elevation and the depth, this is a good way to do it right here.
Yeah, this is a place you don't want to get too close, I guess. Or if you do, you want to
You look down there.
be careful about it. Yeah. Oh, there's water down there.
Yeah, there's water down there. They've been pumping that water out for a long time.
I'll be darned. Yeah.
And if you look up there, you see there how far it goes up, and there's see that there's another shaft there, there's another shaft up there, there's another one way up there, there's multiple shafts along down here.
Wow.
We had a dog here once a long time ago, and it fell in there.
Oh.
My dad had to go down after her. She made it, she caught herself about a third of the way down.
Oh. Man. This wood feels pretty solid. Yeah, I can see that water.
These ladders go all the way down.
Hmm.
Somebody's covered that. That's a hatch right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hatch to get to the ladder, apparently.
Yeah.
Boy, they used some big timbers, though. I guess they had
Can you
to.
imagine bringing these timbers in here like this, having to work with these timbers by hand?
Yeah, and you can see where they've chopped them out by hand. You know, they've made tenon, mortise and tenon joints to get them put together. I tell you, people that did this had to be pretty coordinated. They're pretty savvy on stuff.
Yeah. Engineers. And this hole, before they did that strip mining, used to go all the way to the other side of the mountain. And so but this one ended about right here. So this one has always ended about right there. But this one up here is mostly just for structure, I think.
Oh. Huh.
But this used to go all the way through the mountain. And then when I started strip mining, this caved in.
Hmm.
So you could walk clear to the other side of the mountain through there.
Wow.
And you can walk clear to the other side of the mountain that way too. That's where the bats are. If you walk down that area ways, there's lots of bats.
Bats are up that way, huh?
And they're also down the road, just going to be way back in there. But the kids, what they like to do is come in here and find this stuff here. See this green quartz, clear quartz here?
Yeah.
You look on this side, you can see it real well. See it up there?
Yeah.
And see that hole? See, if you look in there, this goes all the way back up in there with all that green stuff.
So it's kind of like a little emerald colored stuff.
Yeah, emerald colored stuff.
Huh.
And you see it over here on the down low. And here, back over here. Oh, yeah, there it is. See there? See the sparkle right here?
Oh, yeah.
The kids get in here and start whacking away with their little hammers and things and pick all that stuff up. There was a hippie commune in here living for a period of time. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from.
Yeah.
They lived in here?
Yeah. So somebody harvested some of it. Look here.
Yep.
And there used to be you know what a GPS cache is, what do you call them? Where they you have a GPS location and you go and look for something.
Hmm.
They had one in that chute over there.
Oh. Huh.
What do they call those? GPS caches or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's pretty interesting. That stuff's really greenish colored.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of it here. If you look at over here, it goes all the way up through there as far as you can see up into that hole.
Huh. Yeah, you wouldn't really want your batteries to run out on you here.
Well, no, especially if you got to walk out all that way.
Yeah, you may not know which way to turn.
Yeah. Yeah, my grandson wasn't very happy about that. I think he was about 8 or 9 at the time.
Yeah, well, I learned one thing about situations like that. If you don't panic, you're usually okay. Because, you know, there is a way to get out. You just have to keep plodding along till you find it.
Yeah, the kids, the place right along here, they were pounding away too. They found a little cache in here somewhere.
Now that tunnel over there, that must go.
Yeah, you walk back in there and that's where, and that goes way back there. That goes way on back, but it's all looks the same.
Yeah. Huh. And it is easy to get disoriented here, where you don't remember if you were going this way a minute ago or that way, or yeah, that's pretty cool. A lot of fresh air though. Just keep wandering until you get to the light, I guess.